Hello, welcome. My name's Chantal and I am a certified Hand in Hand instructor. I have been certified with Hand in Hand since 2017 and I am one of over 280 global instructors in the world. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, the certification program that we have with Hand in Hand. So we have a 10-month certification program that kicks off in September and takes you to halfway through the following year. And applications for that will open in April and go till mid-May. And we'd love to encourage you to join us on this journey. So I'm just waiting. Oh, I think we're almost there. I'm waiting for someone to join me, a special guest today, to chat about what that looks like. I'm wondering if I can hurry that along. I'm not sure. Anyway, so whilst I'm waiting for that to work, it may take trying a different device if it's not working at your end. I will just talk a little bit about that. So for me, I came to Hand in Hand through having a look for a few different things. I had an idea of how I wanted to parent. I was finding myself in a space where I couldn't do what everyone else was telling me. And so I had to go with a whole bunch of quite entrenched in one that felt really, it made sense to me. I'm just wondering if I can help. Did you get a request? Oh, there we go. Yay. Stalling for time. So welcome. Oh, you look lovely, Karen. So we have Karen joining us to talk about our certification program. So stick around. We've got lots to cover today. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Karen Wolfe, and I'm a marriage family therapist in the Bay Area and a certified hand-in-hand instructor for, I think I got certified in 2017, and I'm a mother of a almost 3-year-old.
Awesome. And so you're 2014, so it would have looked differently as we've discussed when you were doing it to when I was doing it just a few years later. I think when I was doing it, there was still some in person, but they'd moved much further into online. And then, of course, with COVID and lockdowns and all that sort of stuff, I think it's become predominantly an online experience. They still keep it to the small groups, so you could have a number of people joining you anywhere in the world, but you'll be in a very small, intimate group so that you have that same safety and connection and build that community. So I'd love to hear your story of how you came to Hand in Hand in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I came to Hand in Hand as a play therapist without kids of my own, and I was the naughty child growing up, and so I wanted to help kids in my therapy practice, but I found it harder to connect with the parents, and not being a parent myself, and knowing that they're doing the best they can, but really, not having the tools to support them. And so I had heard about hand-in-hand parenting through a colleague who I really trusted, and she said, it's all the good stuff you love about humanistic therapy, down to earth and person-centered, and also happens to be backed up by trauma theory and Peter Levine, trauma healing and stuff. And so it's like, okay, I'll try it. So I did the 8-week professionals course. It was all by phone,
Mm.
actually. And I just remember having this kind of moment of like, wait a minute, what's like, there's something happening here that feels um, there was like a door opened, and I was like, oh, there's like 5 more doors there. What? you know? And so then I jumped into the certification training, and it really changed so much about how I work with kids and with parents, and it changed how I was relating to myself, actually, in some really fundamental ways, like the reparenting of myself. And that was in 2013. that I took, or 2014, yeah, that I did the program, and just the community has been. I've actually, I was thinking about this. I've done some significant trainings in my life, but I've never actually gone through the certification except for with Hand in Hand.
Mm.
The only one
Yep.
done the hoops, because I just knew that there was something special on the other hand. The certification program itself was powerful, and then getting certified in and of itself really did. Um, I don't know. It just like changed things fundamentally for me, and it opened up my practice too, just like on a professional level. It really helped me there, and then becoming a parent. I was using the tools from the moment I found out I was pregnant. And I actually feel like they saved my life.
Mm.
Like, actually,
Yeah.
um, still using them now, and it's a lot. But yeah, it's an amazing program, and I recommend it to everyone
Yeah.
and anyone. So
I do get jealous of people who have had it right from birth because I feel like we started probably when, yeah, my eldest was around two-ish, and I feel like there's still just little bits of things that just sort of hang around that you're sort of still working on always.
oh wait,
And then it's quite different with the younger one who's always been hand in hand. And having said that, like, it is important to also note that and what I love about the hand in hand tools is that it is absolutely different experience for every single person and every single individual child that they're working with, because they give you a real set of guided ideas and routing to go back to, and but they're malleable to whatever your situation is, which is
yeah,
important because we're
yeah,
all so incredibly different. So I'd say there's a bit of the fact that we hadn't had those tools in the beginning, and then there's a bit of individual personalities that come into play as well. And I think it's really great to have some modality that works no matter what that variance is. Yes. And so I'd also love to know, well, you've spoken a little bit about what you're doing now, which is, so you're doing play therapy, and so you are,
mm-hmm.
obviously you've got the hand in hand accreditation for that, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And so in terms of the actual certification, if anyone's sort of sitting there going, okay, should I, shouldn't I? What would you say to them? What might have been the things that you had misgivings about in the beginning, and what were the thoughts between, okay, do I, don't I, that we might be able to give to our audience?
Well, my answer is different for people that do have kids already versus
Yeah.
don't, because now parent even then the idea of parent oppression, it was like, what? And now as a parent I'm
Mm.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
and so to have a community that gets it, and then to see real time it happening inside of you. Like, I see it real time. Like, it's funny to hear you say it makes sense to feel jealous of, like, oh, those that have it from birth, but also it's like parenting is still hard. It's
Yeah.
still, why is it still hard even with the tools? Because I'm telling myself I'm not good enough. And,
Yeah.
I hand in hand did a post that was like, you're good enough no matter what you're saying. And I'm like, but really? I'm like, but I know I just need listening around it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so really it's the community to know that I have a community I can reach out to and say, I need listening time. I've created like affinity groups, like, I need listening time with people with toddlers, or like
Mm.
specific topics, and to have people who are really, really doing the work, and
Mm.
not, and yeah, that it works well with any other method. It's kind of like, it's like cheese. Like, you can put cheese on anything, you know what I mean? And it makes, like, you can still do, like, behavior modification stuff and hand in hand. You can do, sensory integration stuff and hand in hand, like, because
Mm.
it's all about, like, you as the expert,
Yeah.
and to have other people who actually believe that about you, as you're working through how you're not, and also trying to find what, kind of like, what is the best way to respond to your kid when probably you weren't
Mm.
raised that way. So it's like not
Mm.
in, it's not in our bones. We're trying to figure it out. So to have all these other community members to bump up against, um, so you're not feeling alone in it, really, just to know I can send an email and I won't be alone. And it's also not just like public or into the void, or like the parent club is great, but it's just really, you can get real tight. And yes, mine was in person once a month, but my listening groups were still over the phone, and those are most powerful, not even by video, and it's like the connection is still incredibly powerful.
Yeah. So we'll jump on the listening partnership. So listening partnerships are one of the 5 hand-in-hand connection tools, and it's where you and another adult agree upon an amount of time to exchange time to listen and be listened to. So when you're the person sharing, you can, get out whatever you need to, and that might be in the form of stream of consciousness. It might be working on a particular issue. It might be using your listening partner as a stand-in for someone that you need to have a frank conversation with, or even as your child or your partner or principal of the school, and you just can get out all of your stuff in a space that is judgment-free, uninterrupted, and also most importantly won't be referenced back. So you can get it all dumped out knowing that that person's not going to hold it. They're not going to let it shape their view of you. They're not going to bring that up when you're in a completely different space. So that is so important, and the safety of that is so important. And that's one of the, I think, most powerful things about our tools, but also about the certification program, is that you get a chance to experience that in a safe, intimate group. And as Karen was saying, you can go on and you can find different ways to set up that. Always having it as a regular thing is really helpful, but having little spots where you can find it at a push or specific, like you're saying about looking for a toddler one. Or I know one time I needed emergency listening time around a race thing, and so I went to my pool and said, who can handle this right now? And found the perfect person for that, who I've only had listening time with once before, and still hold in my heart, because that was something that I really needed some good work around, and they were there and they were the right person, and it just felt great. So yeah, that's a huge component about the certification. And just generally, I think it speaks to Hand in Hand's support you first sort of process, which is what the certification is built around too. So while you are going on this big journey of learning, and we are, as you said, science-based, evidence-based, research-based, so you're going to get some important and deep material there, but you're also using these tools in your household, in your community, in your general life, and the support that you get to do that it makes it not work. It's not work. It's just a wonderful immersive experience that you get to do for 10 months.
Yeah.
And then after, as you're saying about the email, so there is support after. So you go into it wondering, how am I going to have the time and the space and fit this in my life? And as you get I think right at the very beginning, you start to go, and how am I going to deal with not having this in my life anymore?
Yeah.
And we have plenty there to keep you going forever.
Go to the instructor retreat.
Yes. Have you been to one?
I've been to 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
again, so jealous.
You got to come. Play
I
a lot.
know. I know.
Rough house, play with them. There's nothing.
Yeah, I need there to be an Australian one, or somewhere like, like Thailand or something. Yeah, so thank you so much, Karen. It was great to have a chat to you, and I think you've definitely got some inspiration for people on a few different levels, because the professional element is quite a big
Yeah.
part too. So what we do need as a prerequisite for you doing the certification is you have to have done one of our foundations course. So that would be the professionals that Karen has done. We also have one for individuals. So, that would be if you're using it in your family life. And then we have one specifically for educators. So any of those 3, if you've already done them, boom, you're ready to go. If you haven't, that's why we're getting on top of this early so that you have enough time to go through those. And they are instructor led, again, in the small groups. So you'll be inspired. You'll really go to dive deep into the tools, and they're not a huge commitment because I think the max is about 8 weeks or something like that. Also, we have our certification coordinator, Michelle Kokel. She's going to be doing an Ask Me Anything on the 5th of February. So if you comment Feb 5, we can send you information about that. If you comment foundations, we'll send you information out about that as well. And if you're at the very start of this journey, we can also send you our free mini course if you comment 5 tools. So you can take that little baby step for now, and we'll help nurture you till you're ready for certification, and the application's open in April. So thank you so much for coming and doing this with me, Karen. It was lovely to chat with you.
Great to be with you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and thank you for all the hard work you are doing in your households and communities. The work you do matters, it really does, and we're just so grateful. So have a great day, evening, afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.